The streets of Nairobi were alive with energy as matatus blared their music, vendors shouted out prices, and people moved quickly through the hustle of the city. In Kibera, one of the busiest areas, Amina was hard at work in a small tailoring shop. Her sewing machine hummed as she worked on a vibrant kitenge dress for Makiki, one of her loyal customers. Amina's smile was bright as she adjusted the fabric. Amina, hii design ni kali sana. Watu watafikiria mimi ni celebrity. Mama Kiki taste. Si lazima ukue mama wa bash na hairstyle. Amina laughed. Across the road, Kelvin, a young, successful businessman, was watching her. Kelvin often came to Kibera for his charity projects, and every time he passed Amina's shop, he felt drawn to her. Her laughter, her kindness, and the way she carried herself stood out in the chaos of the streets. That day, he decided to step in. Kelvin began visiting Amina's shop regularly, buying small items and chatting with her. He admired her determination and passion for her work. Amina, hii kazi yako ni ya level ya watu wa Westlands. Umewaza aje kuexpand biashara yako? He asked one day. Kelvin, hata kulipa rent ni struggle. Expansion ni story ya kesho. She replied with a soft laugh. The two grew closer over time, sharing dreams and laughing about the small joys of life. But as their bond deepened, trouble was brewing. Tasha, the daughter of Chief Njenga, heard about Kelvin's interest in Amina. Tasha, a woman of wealth and entitlement, had always imagined herself as Kelvin's future wife. The thought of him being with someone from Kibera infuriated her. One evening, Tasha confronted Kelvin during a charity event in Westlands. Kelvin, unajua watu wanasema nini? Ati unashinda Kibera kwa sababu ya msichana wa huko. Hii sio klasi yako? Kelvin didn't flinch. Tasha, siwezi chagua kupenda kulingana na class. Amina is real, something you wouldn't understand. Humiliated and enraged, Tasha decided to take matters into her own hands. She made a call to some men, instructing them to deal with Amina. One quiet evening, Amina was walking home from her shop. The narrow streets of Kibera were dimly lit, and the sounds of the bustling market were fading. Suddenly, two men appeared in front of her. Before she could react, one of them threw acid on her face. Amina's screams pierced the night as she collapsed in pain. Neighbors rushed to her aid and took her to the hospital. When Kelvin arrived, his heart broke at the sight of Amina bandaged and trembling. Kelvin, maisha yangu imeisha, she whispered through her tears. No, Amina, we'll fight this together. Hizi scars hazibadilishi wewe ni nani, he assured her. Over the next few months, Amina underwent surgeries, but her scars remained. Feeling defeated, she withdrew from everyone, even Kelvin. One day, doctors informed her about the possibility of a face transplant through an international medical program. At first, Amina resisted, but Kelvin encouraged her. This is your chance to start afresh, Amina. You deserve it, he said. After much thought, she finally agreed. The surgery was a success, but when Amina looked in the mirror, she did not recognize herself. Feeling like a stranger in her own skin, she decided to leave Kibera and start a new life in Eastlands. She adopted a new name, Zara, and opened a fashion studio. Her talent and resilience shone through her work. and her designs began to attract attention across Nairobi. Meanwhile, Kelvin was still mourning the loss of Amina. He threw himself into charity work but could not shake the feeling that something was missing. At a gala in Westlands, he spotted Zara's booth. Her designs caught his eye, and something about her felt familiar. He approached her, introducing himself. "Your work is incredible. It reminds me of someone I used to know," he said. Over the weeks that followed, Kelvin and Zara grew closer. Their conversations felt easy, as if they had known each other forever. Finally, one evening, Zara decided to tell him the truth. "Kelvin, I need to confess something. I am Amina." Kelvin froze, his eyes wide with shock. "Amina, you were alive? I knew there was something about you. I never stopped loving you." Tears filled Zara's eyes. "I was scared. I didn't think you would want me like this." Kelvin took her hands in his. "You are still the woman I fell in love with. Hizi scars ni ushahidi wa nguvu yako." With Kelvin's support, Zara filed a case against Tasha. Witnesses came forward and the evidence was overwhelming. Tasha was arrested and her trial became a landmark case, highlighting the struggles of acid attack survivors and the need for justice. Zara and Kelvin's wedding was a celebration of love and resilience. People from Kibera to Westlands came together to witness their union. As they danced under the Nairobi stars, Zara reflected on her journey. "Scars don't define us," she said. "They remind us of how far we've come from."